So I'm going to try to answer this question as quickly as possible. Am I a cessationist? Yes, I am a cessationist. I do believe the gifts have ceased. Now, when I say that I believe the gifts have ceased, that does not mean I believe that God is no longer working supernaturally in this world. That's not what I mean. Okay. Now, when we look at the gifts, the hotbed topic is always tongues. Okay. Do I believe the gift of tongues is for today? And no, I do not. Now, the reason people misunderstand tongues is all based in their error of why tongues was originally given. Okay. On the day of Pentecost in the book of Acts. People have no idea. Okay. When I hear people say, have you received the confirmation of the gift of tongues? First off, they don't realize how stupid that is. Okay. And people that tend to believe that heresy believe that God somehow speaks to us in unknown gibberish. Here's the thing. Why would God need you to speak and gibberish to him? God, the creator of all languages, why would he? And see, this is the problem. The people that believe that, the people that are in those Pentecostal camps that believe that foolishness, they don't understand that tongues were actual languages. Okay. They think that it was some kind of gibberish, and that's not the case. So by me being a cessationist, I'm saying I do not believe those gifts are for today because I don't see them being performed. Okay. I don't see people going into a morgue and bringing people back to life. I don't see people laying hands and someone being healed of cancer or HIV. Okay. You don't see that today because it's just not happening. Right. Now, I don't like people referring to themselves as apostles or prophets. Okay. Now, an apostle was a sent one. Okay. And someone might say, well, I'm a Christian, so I'm sent out to take part in the Great Commission. Yeah, but that doesn't make you an apostle. Okay. I believe that the word apostle should be delegated to the first century Christians who followed Jesus Christ and knew him personally. Okay. The 12, right? I think that is a word that should stick to those men alone. Because what happens is when men start labeling themselves as apostles or prophets, that just gives air to self-exaltation and pride and arrogance. Okay. I've seen on church billboards that say Prophet Alexander. Why do you think that they put prophet before their name? So that when people are walking by and they see and they say, oh, wow, he's a prophet. Oh, wow. He must have some new revelation. So, because that's what a prophet is. It's someone who is basically bringing forth divine message of future end times, future, present, past, present, and end time information. Okay. And the reason why the apostles were prophets in their time, because they were bringing forth a message that no one had ever heard before. It was new. Okay. They were establishing the Christian faith. They were taking part in the establishment of that Christian faith. That's not the case today. Okay. So I don't think any man should label himself an apostle or a prophet. Okay. And anybody that says, oh, yes, the gifts are for today, show me. Show me. Who's doing them? Who's doing them? Okay. And so I just think that it's important to understand why I can be a cessationist, but still believe God works supernaturally. Because the truth is, anytime somebody is saved, that is a miraculous supernatural work of God. Okay. And I believe God does still do miracles. I believe that, I believe this stuff still happens. I just don't think it happens the way it happened back then when the Lord walked this earth.
And Paul was writing to the Corinthians and talking about spiritual gifts. He says, now the Lord is able to give each individual what he wants that individual to have. He'll give you something that he does not give me. And he'll give me something that he does not give you. Now, just because you don't have what I have, don't knock it. But Paul zeroed in on those people who call themselves speaking in tongues. He said, now, I'm well aware that the Lord can give a person the power to speak another language on the spot. I'm not talking about some babbling. You don't know what you're talking about, and nobody else, and if you ask you what you're talking about, you get angry and talk about you're the devil. But I'm talking about another language, something that somebody else can understand. Why, if the Lord opened the mouth of a donkey and calls him to speak, surely he can take a high school graduate and cause him to speak.